What if the walls of Wales' most notorious prisons could talk? Within these cold, crumbling cells lie terrifying tales of restless spirits, shadowy figures, and echoes of unimaginable despair. Join us as we uncover the 15 most haunted prisons in Wales, where history and the supernatural collide in chilling ways you won't believe. 1. HM Prison Cardiff. The dark halls of HM Prison Cardiff hide a chilling past. Late at night, the sound of footsteps echoes through the corridors, but no one is there. Guards have reported seeing a shadowy figure pacing in the execution yard, where public hangings once drew large crowds. The most infamous tale involves a man named Thomas Davies, a prisoner hanged for a crime he swore he didn't commit. Visitors to the prison museum claim to have seen a figure resembling Thomas, his head slightly tilted as if still bearing the weight of the noose. One guard, working a late shift, recounted hearing a low, guttural voice whisper, "Justice," followed by an overwhelming sense of dread. The lights flickered, and the shadow of a man appeared on the wall. When the guard turned, no one was there. Some say Thomas's spirit lingers, seeking retribution for his wrongful death. 2. HM Prison Swansea. HM Prison Swansea carries the weight of centuries of sorrow. In its early days, hangings took place within the prison walls, and the spirits of those executed are said to roam its grounds. The ghost of Mary Evans, a young woman wrongly accused of theft, is the most notorious. Guards have heard sobbing near her former cell, and a cold breeze often chills the air. One visitor claimed to see a woman in a tattered dress standing in the shadows, her face pale and tear-streaked. When approached, she vanished, leaving behind only the faint smell of lavender. Others report hearing the sound of chains dragging across the floor, as if prisoners from long ago are still serving their sentences in the afterlife. 3. Ruthin Gaol. Ruthin Gaol, now a museum, is steeped in darkness. The ghost of William Hughes, executed for murder, is said to haunt the building. One chilling story involves a group of tourists who felt an intense cold spot near Hughes's cell. Suddenly, the door slammed shut on its own, locking them inside. Panicked, they screamed for help, only to hear faint laughter echoing through the stone walls. A guide eventually freed them, but the group refused to enter the building again. Visitors often see a shadowy figure walking the halls, his face obscured, but his presence unmistakably menacing. Others report hearing whispers in an empty room, telling them to get out. The jail's atmosphere remains oppressive, as if the walls themselves remember the suffering within. 4. Beaumaris Gaol. On the serene Isle of Anglesey, Beaumaris Gaol exudes an eerie silence. The ghost of Richard Rowlands, the last man publicly hanged here, is said to haunt the gallows. A visitor once claimed to feel a hand gripping their shoulder as they stood near the spot where Rowlands was executed. Turning around, they saw no one, but the grip tightened, leaving them breathless with fear. Guards have heard the creak of the noose swinging in the dead of night, even though the gallows were dismantled long ago. The most terrifying account comes from a worker who heard a voice whisper, "It wasn't me," while restoring the cells. When they turned, a pale figure with wide, pleading eyes stood inches away before dissolving into thin air. 5. Denbigh Asylum, Denbigh Mental Hospital. Though not a traditional prison, Denbigh Asylum's haunted reputation rivals any jail. Once a place for the mentally ill, its dark history includes mistreatment and tragic deaths. Locals speak of the Lady in White, a patient who died after years of isolation. A group of urban explorers entered the crumbling building one night, only to hear faint singing from the upper floors. As they climbed the stairs, the melody grew louder, but no one was there. Suddenly, a woman in a white gown appeared at the end of the hallway, her face twisted in anguish. One explorer snapped a photo, but when they looked back, she was gone. Reviewing the photo later, they saw her ghostly figure staring back, her hollow eyes filled with pain. 6. HM Prison, Usk. HM Prison Usk may appear calm, but its dark past whispers through the cracks of its ancient walls. Built in the 19th century, the prison housed many notorious criminals, some of whom met tragic ends. The most chilling tale involves the Watcher, a shadowy figure spotted in the East Wing. Guards working the night shift have reported an overwhelming sense of being watched, only to turn and see a dark silhouette standing at the end of the corridor. One inmate claimed he woke in the middle of the night to find a pale, faceless figure sitting on the edge of his bed. The man screamed, but the figure vanished into the cold air. To this day, prisoners and guards alike avoid the East Wing after sunset, leaving the corridors to the Watcher. 7. Caernarfon Gaol. Caernarfon Gaol, nestled in the historic town, has earned a reputation for its chilling hauntings. Once a site of harsh punishment, the prison is said to be haunted by the ghost of a ruthless warden. Tourists often feel icy fingers brushing their shoulders in the old cells, followed by the faint sound of keys jingling. One visitor claimed to see a figure in a uniform glaring at them from behind a locked gate, but when they called for help, the figure disappeared. Staff working late have reported hearing boots stomping in empty hallways, as if the warden is still patrolling, ensuring no one escapes, even in death. 8. HM Prison Berwyn. Although modern and still in use, HM Prison Berwyn is built on land steeped in dark history. Before the prison's construction, the site was rumored to be a mass burial ground from centuries past. Guards often report strange occurrences, including lights flickering and unexplained cold drafts. One chilling story involves a guard who heard whispers coming from an empty cell. When he approached, the door slammed shut behind him, locking him inside. For hours, he claimed to hear faint voices pleading for help, though no one else was nearby. Paranormal investigators believe the restless spirits of the buried dead may still roam the grounds, refusing to be silenced. 9. Old Police Station and Cells, Llangollen. The old police station in Llangollen may seem like a quaint historic site, but its cells are far from peaceful. The ghost of a prisoner, known only as the Whistler, is said to haunt the building. Late at night, visitors hear a soft whistling tune echoing through the halls, growing louder as they approach the cells. One group of tourists claimed to see a shadow darting across the room, accompanied by the sound of heavy chains dragging. A chilling moment occurred when a visitor was locked inside a cell for a demonstration, only to hear a low voice whispering their name. When released, they fled, vowing never to return. 10th. Caernarfon Gaol. Caernarfon Gaol stands as a monument to misery and despair. In its heyday, it was notorious for its brutal executions, and many believe the spirits of the condemned still linger. One of the most infamous tales is that of a young boy, barely a teenager, who was hanged for theft. His cries for mercy reportedly echo in the gallows room to this day. Visitors often hear faint sobbing and feel a cold breeze sweep past them, even on the hottest days. A local historian who spent the night in the jail claimed to see the boy's ghost standing near the doorway, his eyes wide with fear. The jail's oppressive atmosphere leaves many feeling as though they're being followed, their every step watched by unseen eyes. 11. HM Prison Park. Though HM Prison Park is a modern facility, its land carries an unsettling history. Built on what was once a battlefield, the area is said to be haunted by the spirits of soldiers who met untimely deaths. Prisoners have reported seeing shadowy figures pacing outside their cells at night, their movements accompanied by the faint sound of clashing swords. One guard, patrolling the grounds, claimed to feel a sudden cold chill and hear faint whispers in an unfamiliar language. The most chilling story comes from a former inmate who woke up to find a spectral figure standing at the foot of his bed. The figure pointed toward the door before vanishing into thin air. Some believe these spirits, restless from their violent past, still roam the grounds in search of peace. 12. Ruthin Gaol. Ruthin Gaol, though small, holds an eerie reputation. During the witch trials of the 17th century, the jail imprisoned women accused of witchcraft. One such woman, known as the Black Witch, was said to have cursed the jail before her execution. Visitors report feeling an oppressive atmosphere and hearing the faint sound of chanting in the cells. One caretaker, closing up for the night, claimed to see a dark figure in a hooded cloak standing in the doorway. When he tried to approach, the figure disappeared, leaving behind the faint smell of smoke. Paranormal investigators have recorded strange voices and inexplicable energy spikes, further fueling the legend of the Black Witch's curse. 13. Merthyr Tydfil, Police Station and Cells. The old police station in Merthyr Tydfil is infamous for its haunted cells. The most notorious spirit is that of a man who died under suspicious circumstances while in custody. Known as the Screamer, his anguished cries for justice are said to echo through the corridors late at night. A former officer recounted an experience where they heard loud banging on the walls, but when they checked, all the cells were empty. One paranormal investigator captured a chilling EVP of a voice shouting, "Let me out." Visitors often feel a heavy presence in the cells, as though someone or something is watching them from the shadows. 14. Conwy Suspension Bridge and Toll House Jail. Though small, the Toll House Jail near Conwy Suspension Bridge carries an unsettling legacy. Once used to detain prisoners awaiting trial, the jail is said to be haunted by the spirit of a man who was lynched by an angry mob. Tourists have reported seeing a ghostly figure staring out of the barred windows, his face contorted in anger. A chilling tale involves a young boy who claimed to see a man with noose marks around his neck, pointing toward the river. Others have heard the sound of footsteps crossing the bridge late at night, only to find no one there. The spirit's anger seems to linger, forever tied to the injustice of his death. 15. Brecon Gaol. Brecon Gaol, located in the heart of Wales, has a sinister history that continues to echo through its crumbling walls. Built in the early 19th century, the prison housed both petty criminals and those awaiting execution. One of its most infamous spirits is known as the Weeping Woman, believed to be the ghost of a mother who died in the jail after being arrested for stealing bread to feed her children. Visitors often hear faint sobbing and feel an overwhelming sense of sadness near her former cell. One chilling account comes from a tourist who swore they saw a pale woman in a torn dress walking down the hallway. When they followed her, she turned a corner and vanished into a solid wall. Guards have also reported hearing the sound of footsteps pacing the execution room, as if a condemned prisoner is endlessly reliving their final moments. The oppressive atmosphere of Brecon Gaol leaves many visitors feeling uneasy, as though unseen eyes are always watching from the shadows. You've now glimpsed the haunted pasts of Wales's most infamous prisons, where spirits linger and dark secrets refuse to fade. Which of these chilling tales kept you up at night? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more spine-tingling stories.